Hi guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. And look at us, we've raided the room. We got Colm from FTSN. We got the marked man, also known as Mark, all the way from Australia. And we've got Paddy as well to celebrate this wonderful win. We're through to the next round, guys. Welcome to the Man United Agenda. We are delighted. Well, I am especially. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Colm, how are you feeling about the game, man? Are you excited? Buzzing still?
I am actually still buzzing. I thought it was going to be a really dull game. Second half proved me wrong. Getting United. Can't wait to see it grow.
And just by the way, Colm, it was great to have you back on again. You started with us, and you're still one of us. You got your stripes for the Man United Agenda. Big up, Paddy, man. How you doing? You wearing your shirt with pride? Your chest is swelling up. Are you happy, Paddy? Are you happy?
I'm relieved actually after going down. Because being humiliated to this lot down here, as you know, I'm in Robert Villa. I was worrying because I don't want to face the lads in the morning at the gym. Going, guess what? The Villa done it again. But now the tables have turned, and I'm so chuffed.
Wicked. And guys, listen. I am so delighted to have Mark Edmund here, all the way from Australia. First of all, Mark, what time it is? What time is it there in Australia right now? Because it's now 10:15 UK time. And how are you feeling about the game?
Mate, I'm buzzing. Like, what can I say? It's 9:15 in the morning here in Australia, and I was a bit, I had a few butterflies coming on the show, and I was up at about 4:30 in the morning. I'm in my pajamas still. Like this is as rough and ready as it gets. It's only all you Manchester United fans and my girlfriend that get to see me like this. So I feel privileged.
No worries.
Brilliant. Mark, we chat in the comments. It's great to have you on here, on live on the Man United Agenda, and to see your beautiful face. We were talking earlier, but I just want like in neighbours, everyone just walks in each other's houses. If you locked your door just in case one of your neighbours comes in.
Look, don't you never know, mate. Scott and Charlene just live down the road. They might be in any second for a breakfast coffee. Right, everyone. They're really annoying though. They never leave me alone. Honestly, I wish they just keep to themselves. Never. Always want me over for a barbecue. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. The Barbie, put it on the Barbie. That's it. That's the main forex. Anything else, Mark?
Mate, I'm telling you, I'm going to let you guys in on a few tricks of the trade here in Australia. Number one, no one ever puts a shrimp on the Barbie. That's a complete no. And the other thing is Foster's Lager. The only people that drink that is your grandmother. Like we can't understand. It's the worst beer ever made. Why do you drink Foster's?
Mark, what about Castlemaine Forex? Castlemaine Forex, anything else? Castlemaine Forex, anything else?
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's a Western Australian. It's sort of like saying whatever that swill that they drink up in Newcastle is better than a real beer.
Mark, there's a massive advertising campaign when Paul Hogan did Crocodile Dundee. He was doing the Foster's adverts at the time, and that's why we always have that association team. But we're not going to stereotype you. You're here to talk about football, not Aussie rules, because you are a big-time Man United supporter, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. That's real. But first of all, let's talk about our sponsor, guys. We're now sponsored by GMS, the Global Mapping Survey. And you wonder what they do. They assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. They offer a wide range of services, such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, and monitoring. And the link will be in the description, guys. So let's get on to this. Revenge. As General Zod would say. Yes, we did it, boys. We did it. After the weekend result, lost in the league. And now we played Aston Villa again. They were up for it, and we started with a lineup maybe that, I don't know, I just want to talk about this quickly because I'm looking to come to Australia first. Dubravka in goal. Your thoughts, what's the manager's thinking behind that? Not about his performance today, just about your selecting the squad. You're thinking about the weekend as well. What do you think about the defence and Dubravka? Because Malacia played as well.
Do you know what? Of course, it's not the first choice team that I would select, but considering Fulham is coming up and, we're playing a lot of games, I was quite happy to see the selection. You know, I want to see the squad rotated. I don't want to see the same guys going out there. I want to see minutes into Malasha. I want to see minutes into Maguire. And you know what? In fairness, bar one stray pass, and I'll be the first. Everyone knows I love putting the boot into Maguire. One stray pass. Otherwise, a flawless performance, I thought, from Maguire. Credit where it's due. I know that you're going to be going crazy. I can't read the comments. You're going to be going crazy, I'm sure. But Maguire, you know, I love booting him, but he was very good, and I enjoyed seeing the minutes. We played it safe. We had the most possession in the first half. We tried to chip balls over the top, which I think is the classic method.
Hold on. Mark, you're jumping the gun here.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
We'll come on to that. Yeah. So you're the manager. You've decided to put the keeper in. That's just for rotation for your purposes, isn't it?
Yeah, he was fine, Dubravka. He had a few testing balls, but I think he was brave to come out of his box in the second half especially and keep the pressure on. And he was fine. Like, we need to be brave in our selection. That's what a real manager does. He's brave. And I have no problems with our manager taking risks, you know, and being brave with his selection. None at all. That's what management is.
Fair enough. Colin, you were laughing there about the Harry Maguire comments from our man Mark. But just talking about the left-back situation, I mean, they've been back and forth, haven't they? A lot of people are having debates about who's better. Does this mean Malacia is a B-team player now because he played in the Cup? And what do you think about the selection of him starting today?
No, I can't say it is making him B-team. You know, he's new to the Premier League. He needs to learn things. What a better way to do that than playing some cup games? You know, you're gonna come against Premier League teams and lower league teams, so you're gonna learn a little bit more about the way the English game is played. But I think it was the right call today. You know, we've got an important game coming up. I'm sure. He's going to be back in the team. But yeah, it's good to see him getting some minutes under his belt.
And guys, like I say, we're just talking about starting 11 if you're a manager before the game, not about the performance. Paddy, I'm going to come to you. We're talking about this midfield now. We start with Fred, McTominay, and Donny van der Beek. Now, do you want to pick one of them out and why the manager would be playing these guys selection-wise? And who else was there to choose? Is it rotation for the Cup? I mean, what do you think about his starting midfield?
That's the problem. They obviously don't consider this Cup's important at this club, which is fair enough. So he's trying a few players out, a few rotations tonight. I get that, but it's basically, but what he needs to think about is the fans like ourselves. It's torture to suddenly see this midfield. Van der Beek started in midfield after that car crash on Saturday where he didn't turn up, did he? And Van der Beek was dreadful tonight. Yeah, Fred. Well, you know, my thoughts on Fred. But I think you should play Eriksen and Casemiro, in my view. Be a bit stronger, but he was trying a few things like Ten Hag. He did. But in that midfield, though, Ten Hag, Van der Beek, that was just a mistake. But he tried it. Let's hope that now this is the last now. Finish. So, yeah, he tried things with Omundi. He tried it. It hasn't worked out. But he experimented, as Mark just said. He did. But it's torture, mate. Torture.
So we're talking about starting again because obviously he's up against Villa at the weekend, and he's gone with Bruno on the right, Rashford from the left, and Martial down the middle. Now, Mark, were you happy to see Martial come back in the side? Do you think it was too early? Because you think it's risky with all the injuries he's had to put him into this game anyway?
No, I was very happy to see Martial. I think his pre-season form was excellent. He was looking really good before he got injured. I think Ten Hag, for some reason, has got the knack to communicate with Martial, who's a bit of a, let's be honest, there's always been a bit of a tough one to crack for many managers. And he seems to have the Martial secret and has motivated him and got him running and making runs off the ball and coming in short to collect, you know, those balls and, you know, and being quite active. And I've enjoyed watching Martial. I thought he was okay in the first half. I even thought Van der Beek was okay. He's still hiding a bit and a little fearful to like really involve himself in the game. He wasn't awful, but nor was he great. You know, once again, and I think Martial much the same. He didn't really impact the game, but the first half was quite dead. Villa were very deep. They set up with 4-4-2 banks. They weren't really interested in coming out to play in the first half. We had a lot of possession. And I think, you know, the game that pretty much told the story, I thought, in the first half. And maybe I'm getting ahead of you there, mate, but
yeah. Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to just go through some comments. Just take a little breather, guys. If you want to jump in any of these comments, they offend you or you're getting upset about it, just let me know. Man United Agenda, obviously, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll say hi to Matthew Bassett. You'll see him Friday night on Takeaway. He's saying good evening to everyone in the chat. Mark Gemini is saying Donny's over at Man United. Same as Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, all not good enough, but Garnacho is pure quality, according to him. I want to say big up to TalkMU. Done a brilliant watch along. Don't know if you guys viewed that, but you should. Every Man United game we're covering, and TalkMU and Mr. B are delivering. Paul Tierney saying, hi, guys. Come on, United. I can breathe now. I feared the worst, 2-1 down, but the team showed character. That's from Paul Tierney. Love that. Eddie, Football Waffle, go and check out his channel. Brilliant stuff. He said big up to Man United Agenda, and everyone else hit the likes. Want to say hi to Emma as well. Put McSauce up front. Who's McSauce again? Remind me, guys.
Scott McTominay.
Okay, all right. Well, we go on to him. Global Mapping Surveys, who was our sponsor? What Garnacho, what performance? Over the moon about that. Mark Gemini again. Donny is washed and up and needs to be moved on. Garnacho is pure quality. He's like Marbury, Silk. He just knows, he knows. I want to say hi to big up to Mr. B as well. Mr. B done the watch along and quality as always. He's saying hi to Mark Edmund, who's making his debut on the Man United Agenda today. Mark Gemini saying, Marshall, if you say fit is a massive plus. We need a right back in January. That's a priority. Think about these guys if you want to respond to anything here. Paul Turney saying, may we sign Leon Bailey? I won't get tired of seeing him. What a threat, don't you think, guys? And I want to say hi to Miguel as well, because Miguel was on the previous show and he was giving us a lot of insight into Argentine football. And we were talking about the guy from Enzo, who's the guy, Colin?
Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez, yeah. Miguel gave us a lot of insight into his game, but he's obviously Argentinian. He's saying Garnacho and giving us a little star. Malacia had a good game, especially in the second half. We come on to performances, and this is one really made me laugh. From Stuart Marshall all the way from Ethics. He's saying, big up to Yap Stam. We got him on the show, finally. Yeah. There we go. Argentina. Yeah, we've got you here. So first half performance, Colin, I'm going to start with you. What do you think the manager tried to do today? Because obviously it was like a clash of top heavyweight managers, black belt managers. They saw what happened at the weekend. What do you think the strategy was today to break down Villa?
Well, if you've watched the game, you notice Villa were playing a very, very high line, to try and stop us from playing the way that we normally were, keeping the ball on the ground, passing it through. So we were playing the long balls over the top. Obviously, we having Martial and Rashford, both very pacey players, making those runs, trying to break that offside trap they had. But if you're also watching, you saw the midfielders running from deep. You saw Fred doing it. Donny did it. I think McTominay did it as well. They all ran through to try and beat that. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out in the first half. Villa's defensive line was very, very good. We got caught offside quite a few times, and sometimes the ball was overhit, or the slick surface as it was just a bit too much, and we couldn't get on the end of it. But the way Villa was set up, it was definitely the right idea to try that in the first half at least.
Come to you, Paddy, because you're from Birmingham as well. What do you think about Villa when they see that? You can tell after the first 5-10 minutes that was our strategy, to play balls in behind, over the top, because there was a big space to work with there, and they continue to play that high line. Do you think that's suicide against that strategy that we adopted today?
Yeah, they did really well. I think Emery's brought that and he did it. I think that was his strategy tonight, Emery. And I think they worked it well, to be fair. They really did. They just caught us on the break for that goal. I think that was the high line with them. And I think it worked for them massively, Aston Villa, unfortunately, because I'm not a big fan of theirs. But they did. They worked it really well tonight. Bless them. Really well done to Villa tonight. Emery got his tactics right completely first half, massively.
Okay, do you want to say big up to Matthew Bassett, always dropping a dime for the Man United Agenda? Why don't the rest of you drop some money in as well, so Mr. B can get a haircut, or we can buy some broccoli just in case? Matthew Bassett here is saying big up to Mark Edmund, obviously making his debut on the Man United Agenda, and obviously big up from everyone here. I hope you guys love this. We love to see Mark. He's woken up early in the morning, all the way from Australia, to come and deliver for us after watching the game. So big up to you. And also, just getting news now from Stuart Marshall, we've got the Scousers all sitting in the next rounds. It's not confirmed yet, is it? We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Coming to you, Mark, about the strategy in the first half. So Colin established that we were sort of trying to dink balls in behind, use space in behind. What do you think the pros and cons are for that? When we got players like Donny van der Beek who maybe want to get on the ball, or I mean, is that a disadvantage?
Look, I think quite clearly what some of the other panel members have said is correct, that Van der Beek and some of the players, especially Fred, I thought Fred was really poor. Like, sorry, Solo, that you're not here to defend your man, but Fred, he was terrible, and he was breaking down our attacks for Villa. He was and we lacked the quality to take advantage of our possession, and we did have the vast majority of the possession. And in fact, outside of the first 5 minutes, I noticed that Villa didn't get a touch in their final third for half an hour, which is when they had their first meaningful attack and shot. 33 minutes was the note I made before Villa had a touch in their final third. They were really very defensive, very cautious, and rightly so, you know. And it was much the same, the 4-4-2 they set up with earlier in the week. And we came with a plan, which I'd seen a million times over, having grown up watching Alex Ferguson play 4-4-2 every week. Every time we played a team from Spain or Italy, they'd always have those little, you know, medium length passes that they dink over the top of our sort of stacked, midfield, and, you know, sort of, they weren't super deep, you know, just outside their 18-yard box with the back four, and, you know, but blocking up that middle third as much as possible and trying to, you know, force teams, which we did, is dink the ball over. We just didn't have the quality with out Ericsson and with Bruno pushed out wide to you know, make that happen, you know, in the first half.
That's some really good points from all of you guys there. I think we did create different chances as well, though. I think Martial, I thought in the first half, he came deep to get the ball. His first touch was really impressive to me, because I haven't seen this, not this in Ronaldo, but I haven't seen that in his game, Ronaldo. Martial seems to come get the ball, hold off his man, and pop it off. And I thought we were really impressive with trying to play the ball out today. I know you disagreed with me before the show here, Paddy, about Maguire messing around, but I thought Maguire played well. And not just that, it's the keeper as well. We want to try and build the ball out. This is Ten Hag's style. And I think we developed it a bit more confident today with the keeper. He was coming off his line. He was distributing well. He wasn't ruffled at all at any stage in the game. And I think we did a couple of times. We was quite successful with getting the ball out and getting into the final third from defence and from the goal kicks, that sort of thing. Any voice on that, Paddy? I mean, because you were saying earlier you weren't happy about passing the ball across 6 yards.
They were, and Maguire does this all the time. He's a complete buffoon. He really is. He's useless, absolutely useless. I cannot. But I understand, Miranda. I respect you to the gills, mate, because you've stood by this. You've stood by this fella, and I'm thinking about today. Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate. And that's not an Australian term, Mark, by the way. But I must say it was. Yeah, I didn't agree with it at all, and that's what he was wobbly tonight. But they played it, but they could have been against someone really good, not just Aston Villa. Someone like, I don't know, a better side than that would have caught us out today massively. City.
Colin, do you want to add to that about playing the ball out? Did you notice anything today different with a new keeper? Do you think there's more confidence from this keeper? Was he signed for his distribution?
Well, as a goalkeeper myself, I focus a lot on what the goalkeepers do. It's just something I'm drawn to quite a lot. And I've noticed that Dubravka is a lot better distributing the ball than what De Gea is. A lot better. He might not be as good at the job of shot stopping. We all know De Gea is a world-class shot stopper on his day. But if Ten Hag wants to go down this route of playing the ball from the back, good distribution, then we need to be looking at getting Dubravka in the net a little bit more, because I don't think he put the ball out once when he distributed it.
Yeah. Mark, do you want to add on that? Like, this is a key thing for us, especially with the goalkeepers, because there's not much to talk about in the first half.
Look, I mean, I touched on it earlier. I really thought, for me, with Harry Maguire, the one thing that really bothers me about him is that teams know what Harry Maguire is going to do. They are literally planning for Harry Maguire. They go, we're going to score against Harry Maguire today. They know how they're going to do it. you can see him. It's like, Harry's like, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to intercept that ball, and they know it's coming before he does it. They know he's going to do it. You can literally see the guy smiling as he's literally turning before Maguire gets there. He knows, and you can. I swear to God, every time Harry Maguire plays, the striker is literally grinning as he runs through 1-on-1 as they pass the ball straight through. Curry's passed through our defense easier than when Harry Maguire is in it. But you know what? Today, for the first time, I was waiting for him to do it. This is a little speech I had prepared to rip shreds out of Harry Maguire, who
in front of me.
Everyone knows. I was going to mock him. I was all ready to mock Maguire, and sledge him and give him hell. But you know what? He ruined my day because he didn't jump in. They didn't get that smirking. Honestly, their strikers are literally laughing as they run through because they know it's coming. Every time, but he didn't do it. Maguire kept it simple. I don't think he was shaky. I actually thought he was good. Maguire's better with a keeper who can play the ball.
Yes.
That's simple. Maguire needs a keeper who can play the ball, and and it settles him down. Maguire and De Gea, there's nothing wrong with either of them, but they just can't play together unless it's very deep.
Wow. Can you come on more often? We can form a tag team here.
Mark, probably you say that. Maguire's no. I'm trying to think of the Italian defender who he thinks he is. What's that Italian defender? What his name was? Who could play it from the back? What's his name?
Baresi.
Yeah, he thinks he's Baresi. He's not. He's a pound shot Baresi. That's the problem with Maguire.
Not today, Paddy. Not today. Colin. Wind up with the first half performance. So obviously, Colin, we go in at half time. We're 0-0. I was nearly falling asleep, to be honest. There wasn't much action. What would you be saying to the boys at half time?
I'd literally tell them what I think Ten Hag told them, right. We've seen what they're going to be doing. We've seen what they're doing. You've seen how they're set up. Let's now step it up a gear. Let's go to gear 2. And once we've hit gear 2, go to gear 3. And let's make them work more than what they are doing. Because let's face it, the first half was you have the ball, no, we'll have the ball. No, you have the ball, no, we'll have the ball. I think that's what Ten Hag was saying. Let's get our foot on the ball. Let's step up our game and make them match our level.
Just want to say big up to Christian. How you doing, man? First time I see you join the channel. And you're giving us a great endorsement. He said, you guys are doing a great job. God bless you. All have a 5-star. Thank you very much, man. And hopefully you subscribe and join us again if you're a Man United fan, especially. But we cover all football. We just love football on this show. That's for sure. And Sola was asking who's the man in the match. We're going to come to that at the end of the game. But Rashford's been thrown out there already, who scored a goal and done something really quite clever for one of the last goals that I did see. So let's talk about the second half, boys, because the first half was kind of dour. But I would never saw this coming. 6 goals in the second half. We could just talk as we go along. I'm going to throw it out. Paddy, man, what do you think about the second half? Talk to me, man. The momentum.
Second half.
Good, didn't they?
It came alive, actually, with the first 2 goals, didn't it? And which Villa scored the first one, which was down to either an error of judgment with Maguire and Dalot. I don't know who. I haven't seen the replay back because it was so quick after that. I'm sure when I was watching it, Dalot and Maguire. Dalot got caught out, possibly, but Maguire should have spoken to Dalot. They got caught out communicating, and he was in like a shot, wasn't he? Gone.
Handball. Colin, tell him about the handball, man.
What's wrong?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest with you, because obviously I'm on the other channel I'm with someone that has a lot of things to do with the FA. And he was speaking to me about it, and he said that it wasn't classed as handball.
Okay. No. Mark, do you think that was a handball?
Well, I've got to be honest and say no. However, I will say his arm was moving away from his body towards the ball. So technically, by the rules, that is handball. And that's a fact. I'm sorry. You go back and play it back. His arm was by his side, and as the ball was kicked, his arm moved away and towards the ball, and that is by the letter of the law, handball. There's no VAR, and let's be honest, they got away with a few massive decisions, Villa today, because of there being no VAR, and that was probably the least of them. You know.
Okay. Are you watching Gareth Southgate? Because Ollie Watkins drove in and dinked the keeper brilliantly. I have to applaud him for that goal. Top class, don't you think, guys? And we, at this point, I've got my head down, thinking, oh God, here we go. But guess what? Anyone want to talk us through the second goal? Minutes later or seconds later? All right, I'll do it then. We got the ball down the right-hand side. I squared it across the middle of the park for who scored? Who was it now? Martial squared it. Bruno squared it for Martial to score to make it 1-1. Obviously, that was a nice break, and it did work out. This is something we were trying to probe with in the first half. A ball over the top, a nice time run. Bruno got in, squared it equal for Martial to score, and then that got the crowd. I could feel the crowd were on fire at that point, and it's game on. And then we keep playing football now, and Dalot scores an own goal after 60 minutes. Bailey came on the pitch. Bailey's the problem, isn't he, guys? Paddy, what do you think about Bailey, man?
He's great. I saw him on Saturday. He's quick, isn't he? He's very quick. A lovely cultured left foot he's got as well. He gave us all sorts of problems, didn't he? He's just very quick, very direct as well. He gave us loads of problems, and I thought he was brilliant tonight. I thought he was very good when he came on. Villa are very, very lucky to have him.
Mark, can we give any thought to Dalot for that goal? I mean,
unfortunate, but I honestly felt Dalot was at fault for the prior goal as well, which Paddy was talking about. I really do. And it was unfortunate because I actually thought Dalot was great in the first half, but his second half and Malacia too at moments in the second half both got caught out and had some bad moments. And Dalot, I'm not going to come down on Dalot. He's my boy. I love Dalot. And I think he's really come on this season. I love Bailey as well. I actually suggested that he would have been a great player for Liverpool to pick up. He would have been perfect for Liverpool. But I'm not too worried about Bailey because we've got someone better who's very direct and even faster, and that's Marcus Rashford. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait to spit this out. I've got to say it straight away because I love this kid. Garnacho to me, and this is a bit of a hot take, and I'll probably get burned up here, but I love putting my neck on the line. It's probably an Australian thing, but Garnacho, his pace with the ball and his close control at high pace of the ball is the best I've seen since Fat Ronaldo, prime Fat Ronaldo. And I know I can see the look in your eyes there. You're like my school teacher there, mate. I can see you're judging me harshly. I know it's a big call. Yeah. But boy, that Garnacho, his close control at pace is something else. I tell you what, there was no one else on the pitch who's got what he's got. We need to play him.
It's a bit too soon, that is, Mark, though. A bit too soon to say that. It's a bit too soon.
I want to be first to get it out. I said quickly, criticize me if you want.
We're going to clip that for you, Mark. And I see where you're coming from, but I think compared to R9, that's a big call. But I see where you're going with that. Yorkshireman, Colin, what do you think about this? We've got Burnley at home.
I mean, it's not going to be an easy game. We can't take Burnley as an easy ride. It is not going to be an easy game. They're flying very, very high with company as well at the minute. I watch a lot of championship and lower league football. Yeah. They are a very, very good team this season.
Fair enough. Just quickly, I'm going to come to you again, Colin, because we're 2-1 down at the moment. And at 61 minutes, the manager decided to make 3 subs at the same time. Fred off, Ericsson on. Garnacho off, Martial off. Garnacho on, Martial off. Which just surprised me a bit because I thought Martial was playing well, but I think that's for Sunday. And Elanga for Donny van der Beek, which turned out to be good. I thought gave us a bit more balance. What do you think about the subs and the timing of that? Because a few minutes later, we scored.
Yeah, I think all the subs were made at just the right time. And, I mean, Garnacho. We need to keep in mind that this young man is 18 years old. And he is already better than some of the players playing in the Premier League. I mean, he changed. He changed that game for us. I don't care what anybody else thinks. For me, he changed that game for us. His pace, his drive, his energy, his delivery, everything about him was just magnifique.
And Paddy, I mean, Elanga came on the right to give us more balance down there. I imagine because Bruno was playing there, sort of drifting in. Bruno came inside and in his more favoured position. That gave us a bit more balance, do you think, with Elanga coming on, and obviously with Donny coming off, who you thought was dreadful, and Fred as well coming off, Ericsson to dictate the play. Do you think those were good subs for us?
Yeah, these subs should have happened at half time. I would have gone at half time and said, you're off. You're not coming back on. I'm going to bring these others on at half time, and it would have changed it. I think that's what my view would have been. I think Garnacho, as it said, brilliant, good substitution. Van der Beek, fantastic, not doing anything, completely, useless. It was a really good substitution. It changed the game. I think then it all flowed a little bit now, I feel. Good substitution, please.
So I'm going to come to you, Mark, because 6 minutes now, we made his subs. Malacia again played a long ball into Rashford. Rashford flicked it on into Ericsson's path, which is like a third man run. And Ericsson's running into goal and kind of shot, and the deflected out. And then Rashford, with good balance and sort of, because he missed a chance just prior to that, was able to bury it, finish his dinner from inside the box, and put defenders to ground. I think, what do you think about that goal, man? Because impressive, I thought.
Oh, I loved it. Rashford was my man of the match. And the thing that I really loved, and it's a really cultural thing here in Australia, is he kept his feet. He didn't go down. Yeah. He rode the challenges. He was physically strong. He had so many great moments in the game, but that goal was probably the peak. What I loved is Marcus Rashford. Since his injury, he's been a little bit gun shy. Wasn't always putting his foot in, but he's turned the corner completely. He's a form player in the league, and he is looking fantastic. And it's not just his touch and his pace; it's his interplay, it's his heading. He's taken major steps with Ten Hag, and but the thing that I love the most, like for the reason I love Martinez, the physicality, the strength on the ball. He was strong on the ball. He wasn't ever going to be bullied. And Tyrone Mings and those guys, they're no joke, Yeah. And he wasn't having it, Rashford. He wasn't having it. He was finishing his dinner, and that was a great goal. Really
3-2 up at this point. Great stuff. So just to go through comments here. Emma's obviously saying Burnley and the company is their manager. Emma also saying Malacia may have given the ball away, but he won it straight back too. I thought Malacia was brilliant today. Eddie's saying Garnacho has real potential, agility, quick, and laughing at you, Edmund. He's saying put the respect on the legend. It's R9, not Fat Ronaldo, because I repeat, you have compared his dribbling to the best you've seen since R9 running at defenders. I want to say hi to Alpha Eagle. Big up and big respect, man. He's saying, of course, Burnley won't be easy, but I hope we can pull this. I would love to see Eric Ten Hag win any of the 3 trophies, whether it's the FA Cup, Europa League, or the League Cup. What about the champ? What about the league? What about the league title? Is that gone? Also, I want to say hi to Miguel again. He's saying Garnacho, reinforcing the fact that he's the real deal. Thomas Mitchell, how you doing, Thomas? All the way from Northern Ireland, top Man United fan, goes to home games as well. Thomas, how you doing, bro? He's saying Garnacho and Ericsson changed the game, so those are the key players for him. Emma's saying Rashford is at his best when he doesn't have to really think, So he's reactive. Stuart Marshall saying we're going to win the Fizzy Pop Cup, which used to be Coca-Cola Cup. And spot on, Emma says Miguel as well. So I want to talk about...
say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
About the Rashford goal, the one thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, fantastic goal, but it's what he did to set himself up to score that I really, really liked. The way he put one player down, and then he noticed the other player coming, and he stepped over the ball and shielded it before he took his shot. Everybody that's ever watched one of these shows that I've been on or have watched my show know I give Rashford a very hard time. But I have to, if I had a hat, I'd take it off for him today. He did very, very well. And maybe he didn't think about it. Maybe it was just natural, but stuff like that.
Fair play. Great observation there about the goal, because I was really impressed with that as well, because he could have just easily fluffed it and tried to shoot. He waited, and he could have got, like getting your body in front of the ground. The defender would have touched him, he would have gone down maybe. And it's a great third man run as well. I just want to give credit to Rashford again. Maybe he will be man of the match, but just going to big him up again for the third goal. It was a great pass, a great press by Rashford. They were stuck. They couldn't get out. The keeper, I felt, was under pressure today. He looked like De Gea. And Rashford closed him down. And as he was closing down, he bent his run and covered the cover shadowed the defender, who the goalkeeper probably set in his mind, unpass it to the defender and peeled off. Rashford bent his run to cover that off, and then suddenly the goalkeeper was flapping a bit, and that's how he gave the ball away, and we went to score again. And I think it was a misplaced pass. Who scored that goal? Bruno?
Was it Mings slips? Is that the one? That the goal?
Bruno. I think Bruno. Yeah, Bruno's deflection. Mings got the deflection. So anyone want to jump in, guys? What do you think about that goal and the Rashford press where he bent his run and covered the thing? Brilliant.
Absolutely. I think the pace that came on with Elanga as well, in conjunction with Rashford, suddenly the pressing, Elanga, why he keeps getting picked by, not to change the subject completely, it does, I will tie this in.
It's important, Mark. Say what you have to say.
Yeah, Elanga, he came on and he took up great positions. Something I've learned from watching one of our other great shows, which OMONDI is a part of, the eye test. And Elanga was taking up great positions and quickly getting into position, and they were pressing very hard and they were quick. And I think in conjunction with Rashford, that started to really unnerve Villa, and that's when it paid off. The Villa keeper turned it over. He'd been reasonably comfortable up until then, but in the second half, that extra pace really told on them, and they were harried and they became a bit flustered. And Bruno was there, Johnny, on the spot to finish it.
Paddy, I'm just going to come to you quickly because on the 88th minute now, we're cruising and the buzzing and the crowd are up. I'm sure you're sitting there skinning teeth. But there's a third man run, which was beautiful. It was a 1-2, and Ericsson just played it into the path of McTominay, who hit the bar. And I was like, oh my God, if that would have gone in, that would have been beautiful. And I felt sorry for McTominay for that. But McTominay went on and did something even better. Tell to me about the last goal with Garnacho and McTominay. And
I mean, look, the Garnacho again went. This is what I'm talking about. Wingers at Man United, we've always had. He went at these players, and no defender likes any player going at them. Worst thing that can happen. But he looked up. He could see him. If you look at the replay, he looks up and he could see McTominay on his way to the guy. And then again, I thank you, Aston Villa, for bringing Mings on. Brilliant, fantastic. Mings was clueless for Villa at the back. Brilliant. It was struggling, and McTominay got his foot in there, and the keeper again struggled. Bless him. He was again not as good as the keeper that they got rid of tonight. Who rested. That was great by Emery. Martinez. Thank you very much, Mr. Emery, for letting Martinez up play tonight. So that was good again. So that was a great Garnacho. Brilliant brilliant ball to McTominay, and he was onto it. Great goal. Great man. He wanted it and got the goal. Fantastic.
Has anyone else seen that movie Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Does Tyrone Mings look like the Jamaican Jim Carrey with his honestly, he looks ridiculous.
I always say to the Villa fans up here, Mings is what has always got one mistake in him. He
looks stupid. I'm sorry. He looks
I wanted him and Maguire for the England to put in the England squad. That's what I wanted. And watch him against Mbappe if we do get to the quarterfinals.
And Mbappe's going to go red light district on Maguire in the World Cup if that happens.
Oh, come on. Maguire get close, not allow him to turn. Colin, we're going to do player ratings in a sec, but just talk about that goal there. I mean, we were probing him all day game. That was part of the strategy to dink balls in behind. McTominay actually pointed to where he wanted it, got on the blind side of Mings as well. And Mings was like trying to watch the ball, didn't see McTominay get into the blind side of him. What a great run from that sort of space. And McTominay showed a lot of class, and I'm going to talk about him in the player rating. But do you think he could have put a hamstring there when he reached up for that ball? Because he was hungry for that, wasn't he?
Well, you could tell that's a player that, really, really wanted to get to that ball before anybody else on that pitch was close to him. I mean, all credit to him. He's another player that I'm not massively fond of, but all credit to him. He put a shift in, and he got his reward. All
right, we're going in. Dubravka, guys. Do you rate him? What do you think about his performance today? Very quickly, just throw it around. Just go around in order, clockwise.
Dealt with some... look, he got caught out on the counter a couple of times. Really, I don't think he was to blame for any of the goals. He didn't really do anything wrong. Like, he didn't make any great saves either. Like, 5, 6, he came out. His sweeping and distribution was worth a 1, so I say 6.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6 as well for his distribution. I'd like to see him again. Colin?
Yeah, I'd have to go same a 6 for exactly the same reasons.
Paddy?
Yeah, same 6. Yeah, he came out and did all right, to be fair.
Right, let's talk about the defence as a unit and individually. Pick a player, guys. I'm going to pick Lindelof. I thought Lindelof was just like average today. Maguire showed he can win more headers. He showed he can make fouls high up the pitch to stop and get turned. That goal we could see it against Watkins the other day, where he sort of dragged Lindelof all around the houses, and Lindelof should have just chopped him down. Maguire doesn't allow that today. He really sort of learned from that and started chopping people high up the pitch. Say, right, let's get back in shape first of all. Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 4. I didn't like his performance today. You want to just the defense in the whole was pretty good in the second half. You guys pick a player in defense and just have a discussion about it. Let's come to you, Colin.
I'm going to jump in before anybody else does, and I will pick Harry Maguire here.
Okay.
I'm going to give Harry I'll give him a 6 today. He didn't do anything massively impressive, but he didn't do anything massively wrong. You know, it was a competent performance from him, so I think 6 is justified.
Paddy, pick a defender.
Martinez coming on second half. I was so chuffed to see Martinez because he steadied that defence and he's been doing that for so long. And Maguire, I worry about him. I worry about every time. And Lindelof, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan.
What do you think about this? Because Bailey and Martinez had a little of a rough.
Yeah, Leon Bailey was silly, really. I think he kicked out, didn't he? And that's what you don't react. Martinez, he's a tough character, mate. Argentinian central defender. I would mess with an Argentinian central defender. No way, Martinez. But fair play to yeah, he did. He tried it on, but he was silly. Then he got. Thing is, you got to be clever with defenders, haven't you, Monday? About how you react, and you got to be a little bit clever, a bit of game playing. He didn't. He sucked at it, didn't he?
Market options have been reduced to Dello.
I'm going to give Dello a 4, which I know is awfully harsh. I love Dello, and it was the worst game he's played all year. I can't give him a 1.
1.
No,
0.
I love Dello. I think he's been amazing this season, but he was pretty awful in that second half. He was at fault for the goal, probably both the goals. Like he should never have. Yeah, he should have done better. I'm not concerned about him at all. I think he's got a great future ahead of him. He's got
1 year left in his contract.
World class.
He's not world class. Stop winding me up. But he definitely was below par today. For all the good he did, he definitely made some big mistakes, and probably he should have got lower than a 4. But considering we absolutely flattened Villa in the second half, I don't think any of our players should take lower than a 4.
Just to add, we're going to come off the defence now because Emma's saying Maguire actually directed some headers today. I'll give him credit for that. I think he always does. And Dello obviously scored an own goal as well. And he's been playing every single game. We haven't really got backup. So that's some position that we need to sort of sort out. Also, Mr. B is just reminding us we got Burnley. He's delighted about that. Fred getting a 3-year deal. I hope not, says Stuart Marshall. Midfield. Obviously, we started with Fred, McTominay, and Donny. McTominay's the only player who remained. I'm going to start with McTominay. I think I'm giving McTominay 8 today. I think he was outstanding. I think he's done all the things in different roles. It started deep as the deepest player, taking responsibility, didn't give the ball away. His pass completion was very good. He was strong. He was running. He was intelligent with his off-ball runs, sniffing out any danger and being in position at the right time. Doesn't want to be that guy tracking back. I thought so. 8 is high for me. I'm really quite shrewd usually. I really love McTominay. I think he's playing really well, and I didn't miss Casemiro. McTominay gets around the pitch a lot better than Casemiro does. He's more mobile, and he's showing that intelligence that I never thought he had. So 8 for me for McTominay. The other 2 guys that started today, and there's other players as well who came on the pitch. We have Bruno. You can throw him into midfield as well. We've got Fred, McTominay, and Donny van der Beek. I'm going to start with you, Colin, again. Then pick one.
I'm going to go with Donny, and it kills me to say this because I think Donny's a very, very good player, just probably not good enough for the Premier League. And I think he was very, very poor today. So I think Donny gets a 3 today.
That's low. Paddy, pick a player. You got Fred, you got Bruno, you got Casemiro. Who else?
What do you want to do? You want to know? You want to choose a midfield that was good? Do you mean or
You
bad?
choose someone you want to talk about. Score them for us. Let us know what you
Well,
think.
I thought Fernandes, to be fair, was brilliant tonight. I thought Bruno Fernandes, you could tell he was missing from Saturday. He was a player that Villa fans were pleased didn't play on Saturday. You could see it in their match in the start of the games on their vlogs and their YouTube videos. You go, oh, we're really glad that Bruno's not working today. And I thought you could tell. So he's brilliant tonight, Bruno was. A little bit slip. Going back to Colin said about going back to about Donny, that ship has sailed. And I can't believe the ship is still sailing at this club. I really do.
Mark, sorry, I'm leaving you with less options. Pick someone. You got Fred, or you can just talk about someone we've already mentioned. The midfield in the role. I mean,
Fred probably should have got a 3, but I'm going to give him a 4 because we literally bulldozed Villa in the second half. I thought, despite their 2 goals, I think the score flattered them. And I'm just going to say Bruno was a bit poor out wide, and when we got Elanga on and got the width, I thought Bruno was fantastic. And I'm going to back you right up there, mate, and just say straight out, Bruno, I tell you, this bravery is the one quality that is the most important quality when you play for Manchester United. If you're not brave, then you have no place in our team. Yeah. And Bruno, there's another kind of bravery besides putting your body on the line like Martinez or like Rashford did for his goal, and that's called gut running. And Bruno's gut running is worth 2 players. You know, he's like a second player out there. And that's why sometimes his passing can be a little erratic because he runs himself into the ground. And right from early in the game, he was getting ahead of the play because they could not keep up with him, you know. And that's what I love about Bruno. He leads by example. He shows a lot of heart with his gut running because anyone who's played sport at a higher level, which, you know, I haven't really, but higher, they know that you can easily feel quite ill from running hard, you know, and it can be quite painful. And credit to Bruno. He's a difference maker because he really pushes other teams to the limit. And I got a lot of respect for him. And he was fantastic. Yeah, Fred, I'm going to give him 4, probably a bit more than he deserved. And a little bit about Bruno, who I think deserves mention. We did miss him.
Not many left. There's 16 watching right now. Make sure you press the like. We've nearly finished here. Colin, all right, Colin, you started first. So leave Garnacho for Colin because before the show, Colin said to me, let me have Garnacho. All right, and you're gonna have Garnacho. You're gonna finish us off with Garnacho, Colin. So I'm gonna come back to you, Mark. Pick a striker. We've got Rashford. We got Martial. We got Elanga coming on the pitch. But don't touch Garnacho just yet. All right, Mark.
It's hard for me to talk about anything. I was thinking, I just want to talk about Garnacho. I love the kid.
All right.
I'm going to talk about Rashford.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Rashford. I'm going to pick I love Marcus Rashford. You'll never, ever hear the words Trashford come out of my mouth in relation to describing Marcus Rashford. I think he's an exemplary human being and an exemplary footballer. He's been through some really trying times with a back injury and a shoulder injury. He played injured for this club, which playing injured is incredibly difficult. And I've got nothing but respect for him. I know he's disappointed a lot of us, and we have high expectations of our players, and so we should, you know. But Marcus Rashford, he once again, Ten Hag has found the key, and he's got him playing great football. He's back in the England setup, and he deserves to be. He deserves to be. He's playing much better than Sterling. He probably should start, and you can call that another hot take, and I'm willing to take the slings and arrows for saying that. But he showed why he's selected today. I think it was fantastic. And I think the guy scored 100 goals for Manchester United. And what is he, 24? You know, you got to put some credit on his name for that. He's in a terrible team a lot of the time as well, if we're honest. United were terrible and he's still scoring goals. I thought he was brilliant today. I thought he was man of the match. And I'd give him an 8 out of 10.
We haven't got long left, guys, but I just want to say a shout out to Huddersfield Fan TV. Big up. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Yorkshire. And I'm sure you hear from Colin. Is that right, Colin? One of your boys? So said, wow, fantastic second half by you guys. Special mention to Garnacho, which Colin's going to talk about. He's a superstar. He'll wear the famous number 7 in years to come. He's scarily good at 18 years old and can achieve so much. Paddy, over to you. You got Martial. You want to just touch on Martial or Lang, or you can touch on Garnacho?
Yeah, no. Martial, I'm not a big fan. Don't think he should be at this club. Been at this club, Has he been at this club now? What, 50 years? He's been at this club now. But basically, he's done. I know he scored. That got that goal because I could have scored with that touch across from Fernandes. Yeah, I would easily just slide it. So for me, he went off, didn't he? Someone said, is he injured again? I don't know what he said, but I don't want him in. I want a better class. I want a better quality number 9 up front for us. I'm setting the bar a bit high now. I don't want players who've been, you can bring Phil, bring in Phil Jones or Martes. Yeah, they're getting better under this manager. I'm sorry, they're not getting any better. No, that's my opinion.
Wicked. Colin, pressure, no pressure, mate. You're talking about Garnacho. I think he's on everyone's lips right now. I want to hear what you got to say, man, because I'm sure you got a rousing speech to finish us off.
Well, I mean, if we're going into the whole man of the match thing as well, even though he came on quite late into 60 odd minutes into the second half, he's my man of the match. He completely changed everything on that pitch for me. And there was a bold statement made earlier. And I'm going to make my own bold statement. People are talking about the imminent retirement of a certain Argentinian player, which everybody knows played for Barcelona. This is the next Lionel Messi.
Woo! Wait a minute.
Garnacho is the next Lionel Messi, and it wouldn't surprise me if he actually becomes better than what Messi was. Because, like I said, he is 18 years old. 18. When was the last time a player like that can come on and change a whole game?
Wow. That's massive. We've talked about R9, but now we're talking about Messi. For some little Argentinian youth, he's 5'7" or something, running down the wing. All right, fair enough. Great endorsement. Anyone? Look, we're going to finish up soon. Garnacho, anyone? You want to speak on him? I know you do, Mark. Go on, say something.
I really, really love Garnacho. Like I'm a big fan, and as I said, specifically, it's his tight control at high pace that it's such a rare quality, and teams can't deal with it. He's got to be given a chance. I think coming on late like he did today is the right thing for now. But I'll also add to what you're saying there, Cole. I think he'll go to the World Cup, and I think he'll come on late as a sub, and I think he'll have a real impact. He is electric. Defenders can't live with him. He's a special talent. He's the best kid I've seen in a long, long time, and we've seen some great ones. And look, he's going to start, respect for putting your neck on the line and your balls out there, mate. Like, but really, is it that big a call? The guy's a special talent, and I think a lot of people are going to be saying the same. I know there's a lot of excitement amongst the fan base for United, but I think the rest of the world's about to learn his name.
Paddy,
I think he's brilliant, fantastic, a great talent. I saw it at Villa on Saturday where it didn't come off for him, but tonight, brilliant. But fair play to Colin, nice little touch there. But I do think give him another year, 2 years, then maybe. I think it's too close to call back Ronaldo and Messi. I think that's just a bit. I know where they're coming from. He is exciting, but I just think that's not like me to sort of be a bit cautious because I would just go for it. But yeah, it's interesting. But Colin might have a point there, but I don't know. Give it another 2 years. It's great.
Okay.
And you know what? Man United has been full of wingers, by the way. George Best, all those great wingers, Gordon Hill. So I'm a wingers man, on Monday. So to see a player go at players and doing them crosses, but love it, mate. Love it.
He's so good with both feet, and he's look, and I think what we're talking about is potential. He is showing the potential that they showed at that young age. It's reminiscent. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee he'll go on to do that, but he actually could. That's what we're really talking about. Is he shows that potential, that elite level of potential.
I think there's a long way to go for him. But I would say the defensive side of the game he needs to improve as well. This is the Premiership. You can't throw someone in. It is a tough league, and he's going to have to learn the defensive side of the game as well. But obviously, let me just go back to your point, Mark. Yeah, if I'm a fullback and he's running at you, that's what pace. What he needs to do to be R9, he needs to have that change of direction with that pace. I think he's just like touch, and trying to jockey, make the defender make a move. He can make that move, and if you want to be like Messi doesn't do step overs or anything like that. He just drops shoulder with the and once defender goes, he goes the other way. It's really simple as that. So there's a lot of as much as people might be saying, what are we talking about? Let's clip this thing like Eddie's saying here. We're going to clip you, Colin. I do think I understand where you're coming from. and we're not getting gassed. It's just that let's see the development of this young man. But it is refreshing to see a really good young talent come through.
Yeah.
I do want to say one very quick, right near the end of the game, just to underline what we're saying. They were so frustrated they just pushed him over. The Villa defenders, they just couldn't live with him at all. They just pushed him over.
Yeah.
They completely lost their heads.
And Ashley Young was struggling out there with him. Fair,
He got retired.
They took him off.
And actually just retired Ashley Young.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing, yeah. Eddie, you can clip it as much as you want, because though if it happens, I've got evidence that I said it right here before a lot of people even said it.
All right, guys, we need to wrap up. So just, obviously Eddie's saying Colin being clipped, Garnacho good, but that's a while to take to mention him with Messi. Carl Cavalier saying the final game for Donny van der Beek. Big up Carl, by the way, and saying that's it for him now. And his last word to Carl saying, man has lost every confidence. I thought it was a really good show. A lot of energy. Big up Mark, says TalkMU. Guys, what do you think? We had a debut with Kalula yesterday. Don't know if everyone saw Kalula come on our show. And we've had a debut from Mark as well. And Mark, just let us know where we can find you, bro. I know we're not going to reach you. It's a long way to Australia. But do you have any socials, anything like that? And please, you've been summoned to come back to the Man United agenda and appear with us again.
Mate, all I can say is if you think Garnacho's the business, hit the like. You can find me here on the football, talking football on the Manchester United agenda. And I've only just begun. I've got a few interesting things to say about Chelsea and Liverpool. It's all good news for Manchester United, though, at the moment, isn't it, boys? Gotta love it. So, yeah, I'm like just a fan, and I'm happy just to come on here and chat with you guys. I'm on Twitter and all that sort of stuff, with the occasional thing. But, yeah, no, just here in Australia.
Right. Thanks for coming on so early in the morning. Obviously, we have to respect the time difference and all that kind of thing. But we're through. We're playing Burnley, and I'm just delighted about that, especially after getting Barcelona in the Europa League.
Yeah.
We needed a bit of luck, and I'm guaranteed we will beat them no matter what. I'm not worried about that at all. By that stage, we will be flying. Anyway, it's World Cup coming up. Fulham at the weekend. 8:30, we've got a show tomorrow. Don't forget to tune into FTB Sports Network with Colin. Make sure if you're not subscribed to if you're subscribed to Man United Agenda, you've got to be subscribed to that channel as well, because we are in partnership with one another. And big up to Paddy, big up to Colin, and especially big up to Mark. We're signing out. Big up to all the people in the comments as well. I can't forget you guys. You're the ones who bring you pay our wages. You're our currency, man. We love you guys. And we will see you tomorrow at 8:30. Come on, United.